So welcome everybody to I the Serpent Tarot, to a very special video. This isn't me doing a pick a card like usual. This is me getting to interview one of my favorite deck creators, like really, seriously, one of my favorite deck creators of all time, Danilo Sanino, who did the White Fly Tarot, the Blue Dragonfly Oracle, the Cheeky Tarot, all of which you've seen many times on my channel and will continue to do so. And he's now just launched another Kickstarter for another wonderful deck called Familiar Spirit, which is looking at animals and their spiritual sort of connection and so forth. And he happily agreed to be interviewed by me about that deck and its derivation and the Kickstarter, and also a bit about how it fits in with his other creations. So one of the things, though, you should know right at the beginning is people will be used to the fact that I talk fairly quickly. English is not Danilo's native language, so I'm going to try and slow down a bit. But if Danilo needs to tell me to be slower, he's not being offensive. I've actually asked him to do that if I do go a bit fast, so that it's as smooth as possible. So welcome, Danilo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for having me on your channel.
Oh,
it's an honor.
More than welcome. It's an honor for me. As I say, I'm genuinely a very big fan. I can't imagine that you'll ever do a Kickstarter that I won't back, to be honest. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Familiar Spirit. So this is the new deck. What inspired the creation of this new deck? What took you in that direction?
My first illustration was the bear, and I just wanted to put it on a clothing line on my Etsy shop. I was not thinking to creating a deck. Just wanted to create some animals to put on shirts. And if you want, I have here.
Oh, wow. Bear. Oh, isn't that cute? I love it.
And then I thought it was a better solution for me to create a deck with animals, because I love drawing animals. And I just wanted to interpret them like a spirit.
Yes.
Not like ghosts, but like archetypes.
Yep.
Like a concentration of a meaning, of a particular meaning. And so from the bear, I continued with all animals. You can see some of them in the background.
The background, yeah, with your wonderful art style. Yes, I've looked at them on the Kickstarter. You can see them. You can see the kind of gallery of them, and I can see. I mean, it's very, very clever the way that you've connected the animal and its energy to a sort of spiritual concept or something. Like I can see how it's going to work really well as an oracle. I love dragons, so I saw your dragon. I might have to talk to you offline about getting a shirt with the dragon on it, because that's wonderful. Given that it wasn't originally, oh, I'm going to do another deck, and then it inspired you to do another deck, which I'm very pleased it did. How do you see this fitting in with your other decks? Do you see your decks as a body of work that's growing, or are they each kind of a separate thing unto themselves? So do you see this fitting into a whole, or is it just another exploration?
It's part of my art process. And I think this deck is best for clarification reading. When you have a tarot reading on your deck, if you use any familiar spirit, it's perfect for clarifying the general energy. So maybe until now I have created 2 tarot and 2 oracles. So yes, I think it's great for this process about clarifying the reading.
I think oracles often do that, and I must say, and you've probably seen, if you've seen me using your decks in my readings, that one of the things with the blue Dragonfly deck that I really love is that it's kind of, I often call it my wild card, because it's the sort of almost left of center concept that really clarifies something by highlighting something that might have been a bit unconscious or a bit hidden. It seems to work like that really well. And I wonder, with the familiar spirit deck, it sort of makes me think of shamanism. It makes me think of journeying to the lower world, finding your power animal, that kind of thing. So what do you want a user of this deck to get? You know, what are you thinking? Obviously clarification, but what would you really like them to get from your deck?
I just want it on my hands because now I don't have.
Yeah.
It is in production.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to have a game, like a sort of game on my deck,
Mm-hmm.
with all these colors, all these shapes, animals, and I think it's perfect with the white fly and
Mm-hmm.
the blue dragonfly.
Absolutely.
Most of all, the white fly, and I have chosen the tarot measures on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
For familiar spirit. It's like reading a tarot,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's not a tarot. So I think it fits perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. I can actually see too. I have a really close friends of mine have a little girl who's I'm starting to introduce to oracle decks, and I can see myself introducing her to the familiar spirit deck when it comes, because I think she's really starting to connecting with that, and animals are a beautiful way of connecting with young people and getting them to connect to their intuition. So I look forward to that as well too. Given that, and given again what you've said about how you started really with this as an art thing, do you personally feel that you work with sort of animal spirits as kind of familiars or as guides? Is that something in your particular spiritual practice at all?
In my experience, like I said for the white fly tarot, I tend to see all the synchronicities in my reality day by day,
Mm-hmm.
especially with animals. And in my life, I've encountered a white fly 3 times,
Uh-huh.
maybe more than three, four. And what is a white fly? Is an albino black fly that it is very rare to see.
Mm-hmm.
And when it happened, like time stopped in my psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Something was telling me to pay attention.
Right.
Like I had a glass of wine
Mm-hmm.
in front of me, and the white fly perfectly landed on the glass.
Wow.
Or I was in my car still, and on the front glass of the car, I don't know how it is called. Sorry for my English, guys.
That's okay. The windshield, I think it's called. Yeah.
White fly there.
Mm-hmm.
And just 1 month ago, I was near a river in my town. I was kind of sad, and I asked to the universe for a sign.
Oh,
And I swear a white fly landed on
wow.
my knee.
Wow.
So the white fly is like an animal, because in Italy, a white fly is in our language, like we use black sheep,
Oh, right. Okay.
but in a positive meaning,
Uh-huh.
non-negative, not
Mm-hmm.
negative. Like you are very rare,
Mm-hmm.
very an individuality, a singularity.
Mm-hmm.
And a second animal is the lynx.
Oh, okay.
When I was teenager, I dreamt lynx. It was very big, with big eyes like that. And she talked to me.
Wow.
And she said, "Follow me,"
Ah.
but without sound.
Mm-hmm.
Just I read the
Mm-hmm.
lips of the lynx, and I knew. mm, I just Googled it when I wake up what lynx means, and I discovered that she's the guardian of the spiritual
Wow.
secrets.
Uh-huh.
And so I put the links on Blue Dragonfly
Mm-hmm.
2 times. Two cards have the
Mm-hmm.
links, has have the links,
So
and
that's
yes.
a couple of familiars that you have. That's pretty special, I would say. So I did also think, like, some people feel that kind of connection from pets and things like that. Have you had pets or anything like that that you felt a kind of spiritual connection to, or is it more that it's happening sort of in these synchronistic and sort of liminal spaces?
In this moment of my life, I don't have pets, but I
Mm-hmm.
had 2 special cats.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. I had a little
one
dog.
orange
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, which I still dream about to this day. I had a little dog when I probably up to around about my early 20s, and then unfortunately she passed on, but I still dream about her. So I think I have a spiritual connection. So that's why I was asking about that. So that's giving people an idea about the deck, and it's great that people can see it behind you and they'll see, you know, your characteristic, wonderful artwork. So hopefully they'll get really excited and go and back it on the Kickstarter, because we want it to fund and we want to get the deck. So that would be wonderful. But tell us a little bit about your other decks for anybody who hasn't seen them. Like, a lot of people will have seen me use them, but you know, it depends on what readings they've watched. So maybe just do a little bit of an overview about the rest of your catalog.
Yes, the very first one is the White Fly Tarot. I can show. I have
Mm-hmm.
this is,
Yep.
and it has a special story because it is born during the pandemic,
Yep.
when we were locked down in our houses and we didn't not know about our future.
Mm-hmm.
So I closed myself into myself, in my inner core, and I started drawing every day, putting my willpower in my goal to create a deck. I just wanted to create a deck, a tarot deck, all my life,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't artistically prepared until that moment. I was too young before.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it has a special story because my mother passed away
Oh,
during the
I'm sorry.
creation of White Fly Tarot. And I just love it.
Mm.
And it has a special, when you use it, like you open a window
Mm-hmm.
on a magical world, a fantasy world, and I just love it.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. I hadn't sort of got into doing YouTube at the time, I think, that you did that Kickstarter, but I saw sort of walkthroughs afterwards, and I thought, oh, I've got to have that deck. And then ever since, I've followed you with the Kickstarters that you've done since. It's a very beautiful deck, and you're right, it takes you to a very different sort of place. It sort of like opens up the mind and opens up the intuition. I was just curious then, because you're saying you'd wanted to do a tarot deck for a long time. Is that because you've been a reader for a long time, or is it just that the sort of system and the beauty of decks had fascinated you. What did you read tarot before you created, I guess is what I'm saying, or did it go the other direction?
Yes, I remember maybe I was 12 or 13, 14 years old. I just bought my very first tarot deck.
Right. Okay, started young.
And I did a reading for my friends at school.
Mm-hmm.
But then I stopped completely for
Oh, okay.
a lot of years, and I studied astrology
Ah,
instead,
okay, okay.
and also Hindu spiritual culture,
Mm-hmm.
like yoga and Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
And during the pandemic, I was watching a lot of tarot reading on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and my only connection was with my friend on WhatsApp calling,
Mm-hmm.
because we were at home, and we started doing reading,
Okay.
tarot reading
Mm-hmm.
between us.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied a lot more
Mm-hmm.
in that period.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
interesting. The pandemic had many awful things about it, but it did seem to provide a place and a time for a lot of like creative work and things like that. So it's always good if there's a silver
yes,
lining in something that's otherwise so dark. But so that brought you back to something that you started really young with. So you have the White Fly, this beautiful deck. You also have another tarot deck, which is the Cheeky Tarot, which I love. It's so cute, but it's like completely different, isn't it? It's completely
yes.
different. Maybe tell people about that, because it's got such character.
The Cheeky Tarot. The Cheeky
Mm,
Tarot is a cartoon version of the Rider-Waite Smith. And I decided to do it because my artistic process is split in two parts from the very beginning. One is like more dark and go deep in my
mm-hmm,
dark sides. And the other one is very funny, is very cartoonish. And so, yes, I just wanted to create a second tarot deck with this style, because I cannot stop drawing. So
mm-hmm.
I just must have a big project on my hand,
Good.
like
I'm pleased.
each month. Yeah. And I remember a guy asked me to create one card for NFT.
Mm-hmm,
NFT joined with the cryptocurrency,
mm-hmm.
like some years ago. So I had the idea to create the full,
Uh-huh.
but then I asked him if I can do that, because it was in a cartoon style, so maybe it could be perceived not very well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in fact, he said he did not want that particular style on
Mm-hmm.
that project.
Right.
So I said, do you know, I created my tarot deck
Mm-hmm.
from that first
That,
image.
yeah. So there you go. Something gets repurposed and becomes another tarot deck. And then there's the blue
Yes,
dragonfly, which, as I say, I use it a lot because it's so unusual. There's a lot of depth in it, a lot of esoteric depth in it. But it's also, it's so, with the art is fantastic. And it's just, it's got, as I say, it's got a wild card energy to me. It's got the kind of like the out of left field, the thing you don't expect, the thing that's out of the corner of your eye, that kind of feeling. So how did that come into being? Is there a story about blue dragonflies as well, potentially?
Yes, I show the box. This is the blue dragonfly. And the story about it is that I just wanted to create a second deck after the first one, White Fly Tarot. And in my artistic process, I was very prolific in 15 years of my career as a digital illustrator. And I created more than 2,000 vector illustrations.
Wow.
Is very, very big number. Most of all are in cartoon style for children. Some of them are very personal, and they are a bit more dark, a bit horror or gothic or fantasy. And I just wanted to create a deck using illustrations that I had on my portfolio. This is the story. And why blue dragonfly? Because the blue dragonfly is the third animal I encountered in my life. And when I encountered it, I understand why people call it dragonfly. Do you know why?
No, no. Why?
Oh, because most of the times you see a dragonfly with transparent wings, but some of them, like a blue dragonfly, has blue colored wings. And when they move very fast, they create a pattern that is very similar to bat wings.
All right. Okay.
And it is like a very little dragon. Is a trick on your eyes.
I love it.
And on the moment I see it, I understood why dragonfly.
There you go. Wow. Well, as I say, I'm a dragon fan, so that's really cool. So we're going to one of the things that I did do is I let people know that I was doing this interview, and we'll finish up with you just talking a bit more about the Kickstarter and where to find all your work and everything. But you did kindly say that if people from my viewing audience had some questions that you could read for them, like you could use your decks and read for them. Whatever deck or decks you choose to do is perfectly fine. So there were a couple that came through that I think that are really cool to look at, particularly for you because you're so creative, and both of these are kind of creative. So the first question that we got was how to tap more into creative potential, cut through blocks or inspire yourself. So if you could, choose whichever deck or decks you want and draw a few cards and just tell us what you get for the collective on that would be great.
I'll choose the white fly.
Okay, cool.
Just give me some seconds. I am not a YouTuber, so I don't have a setup.
That's all right, don't worry.
Cameras.
Many just hold the cards up, so that's all good.
King of Wands wanted to go out, but it doesn't. Six of Wands. Eight of Pentacles.
Okay.
Knight of Cups.
Oh, cool.
Upright. Each card is upright. It is a miracle.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the question, I would think.
It's good. We had the artistic project or inspiration, that is the Knight of Cups, that is the subject of the question. We had I see the Eight of Pentacles like the card of talent and skills, but it is also a card of hard work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I interpreted the Six of Wands in this particular reading like believe in yourself, believe that your goal will have a success. So let me think about it. Yes, believe in yourself and continuing working on your skill, on your abilities with an open heart. It's interesting because we have three elements, fire, earth, and water. So it's a combo of different elements, different part of ourselves. It's the very strong willpower, very intelligent earth side of ourselves, where we every day work on our goals, and we have the earth of the Knight of Cups. Yes. Not major arcana is a very simple answer. Believe that what you are creating is for your success, and carry it forward like it is your child.
Beautiful. Okay. Which is a nice segue into the second question, because that is how to better connect, or the person said root ourselves, but connect ourselves into Mother Gaia. So I think this is really, you know, our responsibility, I guess, to the earth, our sense of why we're here, and that kind of, again, creative energy. So again, I'm happy if you use the white fly again, or whatever deck you want to use to answer that question.
Maybe I change the deck.
Okay.
I use the cheeky.
Yeah.
Connect with Mother Gaia. The Emperor. Oh, wow. Wow. The Chariot and the Ten of Cups, but I don't know because it was the Chariot, the first card. Just a second. I am very slow.
No,
in
that's
reading the
fine. That's
card.
fine. It's very intentional. That's good.
Yes, the Three of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Emperor.
Wow.
the Chariot,
Mm-hmm.
and the Three of Pentacles. I think with the Emperor, that is opposite to the concept of Mother Gaia, because it is a masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
very strong. I think we must perceive ourselves like the spouse of Mother Gaia,
Mm-hmm.
the polar opposite in a positive way. And we must take our responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
in a masculine way. Maybe this message could be for the politicians and
Mm-hmm.
the people who
Yeah.
carry on the world. And the Chariot, I think it is the action we must take with responsibility
Mm-hmm.
on the earth
Yep.
to reach a collaboration.
Mm.
I don't know why it is flipped in reverse. Maybe I just do a clarification on the Three of Pentacles. Oh yes, we must be together
Mm-hmm.
in this action. I think it is the end. Yes, we have the Page of Cups.
Uh-huh.
Like this combo is a friendship for me.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship, very pure hearts together, but also very mature.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in this time, humanity is like under exam,
Mm.
like when you are at school, especially with the age of Aquarius, that is now.
Mm.
Aquarius asks for the humanity to be mature, to be independent, an individual. So we had a lot of tests to pass the exam. And I have studied the Hindu texts, ancient texts,
Mm-hmm.
and they predicted this time.
Right. Okay.
They said each 2000 like 2000 years,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
each 2000 every 2000 years, the earth experiments social, political, religious changes, and
Mm-hmm.
also climate changes.
Ah, okay.
And this phenomenon is joined with the precession of the equinoxes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like the axis of the Earth changes zodiacal sign
Yep.
each 2000 years, and it go backwards. Before we were in the Pisces era,
Yeah.
now we are in Aquarius era. And when it happens, the main religion on the earth changes,
Mm-hmm.
and we are seeing the falling of the Christianity, and we have 2000 years in front of us where
Mm.
everything will change. We are experimenting the artificial intelligence,
Yes.
the cryptocurrency, a
All
new
very,
money,
very
very Aquarian,
Mm.
but like we are experienced like the seeds.
Mm.
We don't know what will grow from these seeds, a new system. So we must be mature.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is a very positive card reading, because we have the Chariot. It is yes, go, let's go.
So we're heading
No
in the right
problem.
direction. Yeah, you're giving me
Yes.
a sense of stewardship, really, that we take a kind of a responsible way of looking at the earth and our communities and how we work together. One of the things that also strikes me really interestingly about this is that you chose the Cheeky Tarot, which has the most youthful, in a sense, feeling. And then you get
Yes.
like Mother Gaia, and then you get the Emperor. So it's a perfect sort of like, there's the three with the Three of Pentacles. Just to me, that sort of like really struck that you're actually looking at almost a maturation process or something. Does that make sense?
Yes, I see that. I see that.
Yeah.
We
Beautiful.
have the father, we have the child,
yeah,
and we have the concept of the mother with Mother Gaia. Like humanity is the child of a planet.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita,
Mm-hmm.
that is an ancient Hindu book, talks about the different humanities present on the different planets, solar systems, galaxies in the universe. And the body of the human is called the cosmic jewel, because our body and our brain, our nervous system has the ability to express the auto-awareness, a little bit more than an animal. So like the spirit is individualized in our bodies. The intelligence is individualized, and it is very special.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. I'm sure the people who ask the questions will be really thrilled with those answers, because they are very positive, even in these challenging times, which is great. So let's remind everyone there's a Kickstarter, and that's live at the moment. I mean, people may see this at some later stage, but you can connect through the Kickstarter to where you will no doubt have this deck available even after the Kickstarter. But go and back it if you're interested in it, if you're watching it in the time, because as I say, we want to see it backed. I want to get a copy. I'm being very selfish here, Danilo. I just want to make sure it gets backed. But tell everybody a little bit about where else they can get your decks. Like, I will have these details in the description box and so forth, but tell them about where else they can get your decks in the meantime.
Yes, my decks are present on my Etsy shop. So you can find them there. And at the end of Kickstarter, also Familiar Spirit will be there.
Excellent. So is there anything else that you'd like to let people know about your work? Any, I don't know, previews on anything else you're thinking about coming up? I don't want to put you on the spot, because there may not be sort of anything yet, but is there anything else you would like to sort of say to kind of wrap up for people to understand your work?
Yes, I just want to specify that I don't use artificial intelligence, but all my work, I am not judgmental towards people using it.
No,
But
me either, but like, your art is your art, you can tell.
I start my artistic process with a pencil like this, and then I completely digitally color the sketches. I have some sketches here of Chicky Carrot, maybe I had just prepared, but I think we have no time to see them.
Mm-hmm.
All this paper.
Yeah.
And yes, I just wanted, like I said before, when you pull the cards, I just want to have a game on the board, like a game, because tarot, it's like life. It's a
Yeah.
game, the game of life. So, yes, with colors, with the shapes, because we have a lot of dark black tarot deck. So on mine, I just wanted to put a little bit of color, life.
Yeah, and
Yes,
it's wonderful. It's truly wonderful. Yeah, I love color. I love the use of color. And again, people can see it in the backdrop of what you're doing, how beautifully you've done it for the Familiar Spirit deck as well. So as I say, I can't wait for that to come out. But truly, thank you so much for doing the interview. I'm sure that my viewers are going to be really interested. A lot of them are readers, and I think are always looking out for these very special decks. So thank you for your time. I do wish you the very best with the Kickstarter. I'm sure it will fund. I mean, like, how could it not? But beyond that, I think your decks, should be sort of seen as very special, and any discerning tarot and oracle deck collector should want to have your decks in their collection, I believe. That's my personal opinion. And I'm very, very
thank you,
honored.
Ellen.
You're welcome. I'm very, very honored that you did this interview. It's been lovely to meet you and talk about it. And as I say, I can't wait to see this deck come into creation and to be able to use it on my channel. So I also, like, Danilo has always been really, really lovely about saying, yes, I can use his decks publicly like that. I always like to get the blessing of a creator. So thank you for that as well. And thank you for your time. And I'm sure that everybody's going to be waiting for this with as much anticipation as me.
Thanks so much for your kind words, Ellen. You don't know how much they mean to me.
Good.
Because with the magic of tarot, I created a window on the world. So this moment is very special for me because I don't speak English every day. And
you speak it very well.
thank you. It's very magical for me to connect with people all over the world. And yes, I am very grateful and honored to have been here with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who's viewing. And I wish Danilo and everybody watching the very, very best.